Good morning, it's Friday. It's March 28, 2014, UPB here. OptionMillionaires.com. I'm going to do a quick market video, tell you where I see the market headed. Short term, this is the S&P 500 ETF, the spiders. You see, we had a head and shoulders pattern kind of negated on this spike up, but now looks like we're going to roll over. This is what it looks like to me, just from purely a chart perspective. And if this does indeed happen, we break through the 184 level, we could head back to this line here about 170.73, 172.85, something like that, which would act as support as it did in the past. We're going to bounce, and we'll come back up to probably about the 183, 184 level before we come back down. That would form a head and shoulders pattern, which would be a really serious topping pattern for this market. Be very nervous about it. But we'll see. If we hold support here at this level today, and we continue in this choppy fashion and then ultimately move to new highs there, then you might as well just erase it. And if you look from a long-term perspective, I mean, you want to, from just a pure trend perspective, the odds of us declining significantly are not so good. And each time we have pulled back, the buyers just come back fast and furious. So that's my short-term look on the SPY. We got to hold that level. If we don't hold it, there's a good chance we're going to drop down to this 172.50 level, which would be a very lucrative trade if indeed it does happen. Tesla, I got this chart up. I'm going to put it up on the OptionMillionaires.com blog, but you can see this resistance trend line could not break out of it, and now it looks like we're coming down to support here. The $200 level, just a little under there, would be where support is. And look, the last time we hit support on Tesla, trend line support on a pullback, we rocketed higher. So I'm looking for that kind of move here. We're going to stop at about $200, maybe a couple dollars below or above, and then we're going to rocket to about 225, 230. If you go to blog at optionmillionaires.com in a little bit, I'll have some possible option trades that I'm looking to get into to trade for this big move to the upside that we're going to see. Probably a good 10-15% move to the upside for Tesla. And ultimately, let's see if we can break this trend line, which would imply possible new all-time highs before the end of the year for Tesla, and at least in the short term as well. A nice rocket to the upside, so I'll let you know at the blog at optionmillionaires.com. If I get into any calls, I'll let you know in the chat room. Let's go to BTH. BTH had a late volume yesterday. You can see this, garden variety pullback after a nice rally up to the almost $11 level. Pulled back. Look, volume's increasing here. We have volume increasing. They've reported earnings. Stock was supposed to fall to pieces. It didn't. The bleeding is done for the stock. So to me, the trend is now up. This is it. We hit support, double bottomed. Earnings came out. Market liked it. And we're going to move up to this 12.50 level over the next couple weeks, which is going to make those 12.50 calls or the $10 calls for April. You can even go out to May, June. Are going to be a nice little profit there. And that's what we're looking for BTH. I still love this trade. You get the chance to get into some of the options I got into. I got into 12.50s at 20 cents, and I got into the $10 calls at 80 cents for a little cheaper than I did. And I might actually look to add to those positions today, especially if we pull back a little bit. TLT is breaking out. You look from a long-term perspective. I was 100% wrong on this. I thought earlier last year that we were going to break down under the $100 level. Just has not happened. Has not come to fruition. And you would think with them pulling back the quantitative easing, talking about higher interest rates, that TLT would be declining. But no, we're starting to get a little bit overbought, but I think there's more room to the upside. We might even get up to this 115 level, which would be pretty wild, and doing exactly the opposite what I would think would be happening in this marketplace as they remove stimulus. Now, the one thing we got to watch for this week, next week, is the ECB coming out. They're going to announce negative interest rates. We've been talking about this for many, many moons, and that's going to be a game changer, I think. So just keep an eye on that. That's something you're going to watch for. If you're in the calls or the puts, maybe you just sit on your hands and see what happens. I think short term it's bullish. Look at Amazon. I brought this chart up at StockTwits, also at the chat room at optionmillionaires.com. We were coming together. Amazon got into this channel, broke down below it, and then was coming back up, trying to get into that channel again. Then we took long-term trendline support from the summer of last year, and all of these lines were coming together. I put a chart up at stocktwits.com. You can look. I was talking about this, the fact that we're up there and we're ready for a break. And we started to get that break, and then it's just really snowballed. I would look as technical support from this trend line here at about the 315 level. We're up about a 1% after pre-market this morning. So yeah, maybe we'll get a short-term bounce. We are oversold, but I think this trend line is going to act as support. We might even get down there before resuming our move to the upside. Netflix is falling because Amazon announced that they are doing some sort of streaming service. Look at how oversold Netflix is. So I love this today. I might get some lotto calls, they call them. Maybe get the 355s. It's actually down to 357 pre-market. I think even less than that. So maybe I'll do the 357.50s or the 360s. Wait for the dust to settle. I think we're going to bounce here. Terribly oversold for Netflix. So we should see a nice little snapback this morning. It's down like 3 or 4%, something like that. 5, 6, 7, 8. So anyway, and there you go. So we went over some quick charts. So we'll see where the market heads. We had the volatility index getting hammered the last couple days in spite of the weakness. So we'll see what the market's going to give us today. It's UPB here, optionmillionaires.com. Everyone have a great trading session. I'll see you in the chat room. Have a great weekend if I don't see you. Goodbye.